Welcome to Larry's Library, and this week we are looking at the fifth and technically the final volume of Peter David's Incredible Hulk Omnibus series. So this one is 904 pages. The MSRP on this one is $100, and of course, don't be a chump. Don't pay that. Get it from a good discounter. My favorite is InStockTrades.com. No affiliation, no sponsorship. But they're just the best, what can I say? And they still have it in stock at the time of shooting for $62. I almost am hesitant to say this because I don't want to jinx it, but it seems like most of my Marvel Omnis are pretty good build quality. I mean, I had some bad luck early on, and I had several come through with various janky problems with the paper or the printing or even the binding. But I gotta say, the last several that I've read and that I've received as new ones even, I haven't read yet, have just been perfect. And I gotta say, this one is also robust. Nice build quality. Had no issues reading it. Had no problems with it on the scanner, which is not exactly an easy thing to do, is to scan a book this size on a flatbed scanner. But I did it and turned out great. So as I said, this is the final volume in the Incredible Hulk by Peter David Omnibus series. This is volume 5. For me, there is a sixth, unofficial volume 6, is the Maestro by Peter David. I'm not really sure why they didn't include it in the volume series here. I'm guessing because there is a little bit of double dipping with the Maestro story. The main one is already in one of these first 5 Omnis, so that's probably why they did that, because there's a little bit of double dipping there. Okay, this one, this is all written by Peter David, of course. And the art, there's quite a few artists here, and I'm not going to name them all, but I'm going to read you the highlights for me, the favorite stuff I've got written down here. We have Dale Keown, who does the fabulous cover here also. We have Pat Olive. We've got Lee Weeks. We've got some Jay Lee in there. And we've got one whose work I had never seen before, and it is fantastic. And I'm talking about, Alan Robinson, and more on him later. This one collects, and I'm going to read from my notes because there's way too much material here. This one collects Incredible Hulk The End, one-shot from 2002. We have What If General Ross Had Become the Hulk, another one-shot, and that one's from 2004. And we have the Incredible Hulk, the 2000 series, the 2000 numbering, and we have 77 through 87. So he did a 10-issue run there. It's fabulous stuff. I have those in singles. I was buying singles still back then, and it is great. So that's included here. We have Hulk Destruction, a 2005 mini, which was 4 issues. That's in here. Hulk versus Fin Fang Foom. Fabulous one-shot. Really good stuff there. That's Lee Weeks' art in that. It's great. That came out in 2007. We've got something that was new to me I had never read before reading this book, Marvel Adventures Hulk. This came out in 2007, or began in 2007 anyway. It was issues 13 through 16. So this was a series aimed at like teens, I believe. And we have Incredible Hulk Last Call, 2019 one-shot. Symbiote Spider-Man Crossroads. Now this was a 2021 mini that ran for 5 issues. And we'll get more about that later. New Fantastic Four, 1 through 5. That was a 2022 series. And we've got material from Giant Size Hulk, the 2006 one-shot. World War Prologue, World Breaker, 2007 one-shot. And we've got Hulk Monster Size Special, 2008. And Breaking into Comics the Marvel Way from 2010, issue 2 of that. So what is this and who is it for? Well, really, this is an anthology, basically. I mean, you can tell from the list of stuff I read there that's included here. It's an anthology of basically all of the Peter David written material involving the Hulk after his original 12-year epic run, which was covered in volumes 1 through 4 of this Omni series. So this just grabs it all and puts it in this book as an anthology. So this is for anyone who is a big fan of Peter David's Hulk. Of course, you have to have this. You're going to want to get it. I had read about half of this material in single issue form before, and I was happy to get it in oversized because, man, this features a lot of great art. Now, it's not all great, and we'll get into that in just a second. But yeah, so the highlights for me was the House of M crossover issues, that 10 issues, Peter David, where he wrote the mainline Marvel Hulk series in the 2000s there, and that was great stuff. But the big surprise for me that I thoroughly loved, and it actually elevated my score for this one, where I was going to give this a 7. I was prepared to give it a 7 because one particular spate of issues had some horrible art that, it was a chore for me to get through. And then I got to the end of the book, and the last thing reprinted in here, totally, that last 5-issue series flipped this around for me and brought it up an entire number to 8. So, spoiler, you don't have to wait to the end here. This is an 8 out of 10 for me. But first, let me talk about the one I didn't like, the one that almost made this thing a 7. And that was Symbiote Spider-Man. What's it called here? Let's see. Was that it? Yeah, Symbiote Spider-Man Crossroads. This came out in 2021. It was a 5-issue mini. Unbelievably great story involving Doctor Strange and the Black Cat and Spider-Man and the Hulk. I mean, story is so fantastic. But the art, oof. Big old oof for me. This was Greg Land. Now, when I first seen Greg Land's art, I really liked it. And the surface level, it's very shiny and it's very slick. But once you see a few pages of it and you see the repetition, you see the copy and pasted faces, the strange, well, let's just call it an O-face because that's what it looks like, of women that mostly women. He does men that way too, but where it's repeated with their mouth open, and he copies and pastes it over and over and over. He uses the same facial structure and sometimes even the same body poses. He will copy and paste repeatedly over and over and over. After you've seen it a couple of times, you're done. You kind of don't want to see it anymore. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to get too far in the weeds here, but he's been caught copying and tracing from other media. And sad to say, it's mostly porn. Yeah, seriously. If you want, look it up on the old Newsarama forums. They went and sourced and figured out where he's lifting all this material and then copying it over and over and over again. Yeah, so I just, not a Greg Land fan. Anyway, and that's too bad that they put him on that because the story's terrific. It really is. In fact, all of this is terrifically written because Peter David is the modern master, as far as I'm concerned, of comic book writing and superhero writing specifically, and very specifically, he's the master Incredible Hulk writer. And that's why you need this collection. But that out of the way, what turned this one around for me is, big surprise, something that, I mean, if you had just showed me the concept of this, I'd have been like, okay. And that is New Fantastic Four. It's a 5-issue mini that Peter David did in 2022, so pretty recent. And it's got Joe. We have the Incredible Hulk as a member of the new FF, but this is during the Joe Fixit era. So he has the gray skin. He still works as an enforcer in Las Vegas. So this story fits in continuity in between stories that we've already established back during the Joe Fixit era. But here we have him in this new FF, which is comprised of Wolverine and Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, and, of course, the Hulk, the Gray Hulk, Joe Fixit era Hulk. And man, it is so good. It really is. It was such a great story. It involves this demonic infestation in some tunnels under Las Vegas. I mean, it's wild. You have all these demonic creatures, and they possess various people. One of them possesses the Human Torch at one point, and they have to battle him. His flame turns this sort of blue color. I'm sure I'll scan some stuff here because the big surprise for me, when I had suffered through some mediocre to bad art in some portions of this book, and then we get to the end, and this artist's name is Alan Robinson, and it appears that he does his own inks as well because it doesn't credit an inker anywhere. and it is fabulous. I have never seen this guy's stuff before. I hope to see more of it, and I haven't looked up, I haven't researched him at all to see what else he's done. I'm going to. I haven't done that yet at the time of shooting. But be sure to comment down below if you've seen his stuff before, because man, it is fabulous. Such detail, such great panel work. Like I said, very, very detailed, beautiful ink work. This guy is great, and this story is great, and it was a nice little bow at the end of this. You know, it just sewed up the whole volume for me when I read that. Put a big smile on my face that never left. It's still here. You can see it, right? But yeah, it is fantastic. And I know this is only 5 issues out of 40, and most of the stuff here is great. Especially, like I said, the 10 issues that Peter David did during the right before Planet Hulk. It's great stuff. It's in here. Another standout for me is and I think it's part of those, is the story Tempest Fugit, which I had to look up how to pronounce that, because I've heard Fugit pronounced Fugit, Fugit, and I'm still not sure, but I'm going to say Tempest Fugit, which, by the way, is Latin for time flies, in case you didn't know that. But yeah, anyway, that is a great story. That's in here. Yeah, it's a pretty good collection. It really is. And look at it as a Peter David Hulk anthology. And if you were on the fence about picking it up, don't be. Get this one too. It's more great Peter David Hulk goodness. And yeah, it's fantastic. 8 out of 10 for me. Pick it up. Hope you enjoyed looking at the artwork from it. And hopefully I didn't rush through it too quickly. But we'll see. I try to plan out... I scan enough material for 2 scans per minute of video. So we'll see how long this one is and how many images I can cram in here without having to repeat her. Anyway, hope you like taking a look at this. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that. I know looking at my own analytics, I see a lot of people are watching that aren't subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Help me out here. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and give me a sub if you loved it. And I will catch you next time.